Okay. Hello. Am I audible? Am I audible now? Hello. Just someone can answer me. Like, I'm not sure.
Yes, Manoj, you are audible.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much, Tekali sir, for your kind introduction about me. And I would like to thank you, the principal of Bajaj College, Dr. Mohodaya, and then president of IIC, Dr. Bagde, then both conveners, Dr. Tekale, and also Dr. Mohabansi, and the coordinator, Dr. Borkar, and Dr. Haq. Okay, so thank you so much, and good morning to everyone. So today I'm going to start the session on research ethics. Okay, so basically what the title is mentioned there is our intellectual property and IP management and research ethics. But honestly, let me tell you, it is not possible to cover all the aspects in one lecture or in one talk. We have already one research paper on this. So today I'm going to talk on the research ethics. Okay. So let me share my slides. So then we'll start. Okay. Yeah. Is my slides are visible? Someone can just answer me in the chat. So I'm able to see the charts. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. So let me start about the research ethics. Okay. So basically, what exactly we are going to learn today's in lecture. Okay. So this is the basic outline for the today's lecture. Just a minute. Okay. So this is the basic outline for today's talk. So I'm going to talk on like what is meant by the research, introduction of research, what are the ethics and academic honesty, and then we will see about like what is the falsification, the manipulation and tempering of the data, and then real life examples of the research ethics and the honesty. And finally, we will see what is this plagiarism policies and the penalties and the consequences. Okay. So let me start with the simple and basic definition of the research. Okay. So what is meant by the research actually? Can anyone see? This will be the interactive session. So it is not like that. I am just looking at screen and just teaching to you or talking to you. Okay. So those who would like to answer, they just they can unmute their self and they can tell me, or otherwise you can type in the chat. What is the research? How you define the research? Can anyone tell me what is meant by the research? You can type in the chat or maybe you can unmute yourself and tell me. No one? Even faculty can answer. Am I audible? Okay, so I did not see any response from you, but anyway, let me start. Like, what is the research actually? So basically, in the simple term, we can see that it refers research means like to gain the particular kind of knowledge and search for the knowledge. Okay, so it is research can be various types, whether it can be the historical research, basics research, or applied research. Okay, or maybe the innovative research. Okay, and we can study the specific topic and where we can go in the depth, and we have to understand that what are the new things we can do in the research. Okay, so someone, the Arti already mentioned there, to study the any specific topic at micro and macro level. Okay, search something innovative. Okay, so this is the simple definitions of the research activities. Okay, so basically we can also think about that, like how the research can be known as like scientific and systematic information or the particular topic or issues. Okay, suppose we are working on the chemistry field or maybe the physics or maybe the mathematical, and we have to understand that like what kind of new things we are going to find out in the research. Okay, means we are searching something innovative, or what is already existed, we have to put something innovations or novelty in the in the particular kind of research activities. Okay, so there are the several definitions of the research. For example, according to Redman and the Mori in 1923, so what they have defined, it is a systemized effort to gain the new knowledge. Definitely we will get the new knowledge regarding the, you will get the different kinds of characteristics, whether it can be the physical properties or chemical properties, or new data you are going to get it, or maybe the innovative applications you are going to find out. Okay, so these things we are going to learn in the research activities. Okay, just a minute, there is some problem while turning out the slides. Yeah, okay, so I am on the fourth slide now. So according to the Clifford Woody, what he mentioned, that we are defining and redefining the problems. Okay, then based on this, we are going to formulating the hypothesis, or we are going to suggested the solutions, collecting, organizing, evaluating the particular kind of data, making the deductions, and reaching the conclusions, and finally carefully testing the conclusions to determine whether they fit for the formulating hypothesis or not. Okay, so there are several definitions are there, and we can also say, we can also mention here, research is an original addition to the available knowledge which contributes its the further advancement. So this is the particular kinds of definition is there. Okay, so now I would like to play the video. I'm not sure whether it is audible to you. So the video is concept is that like what could you like do when we are taking the part in the research. So let me play this video. Okay, so in this video, you have seen that, research can be anything. It is not only related to the science, but definitely it is related to the human body and everything. By including we are taking the particular kind of medicines against some disease. We are taking the MRI scan, or maybe any kinds of X-ray activities, or maybe we are monitoring ourself particular kind of diet to reduce the weight or to gain the weight. Okay, so these are the minor things that we should consider in the research activities. Okay, so basically in the different way, if you would like to define the research, we can define in this way. The research is the systematic and objective analysis and recording of control observations that may lead to the development of generalization, principles or theories, resulting in the predictions of possible control of events. Okay, so basically the research can be various types. Okay, research can be the basic research, applied research, discovery research, production research. Okay, or maybe the production related kind of research will be there, method development kind of research. So what is meant by the basic research actually? What is meant by the basic research? In the basic research, we are going to get like new information about any kind of research activities. So in the basic research, we are not going to see the total cost of the particular kind of project, but the only we are our aim and objectives will be to complete that project irrespective of the cost of the project or irrespective of the manpower of the project. So in basic research, we are going to find out the new knowledge in the particular kind of field. What is meant by the applied research? Applied research is really oriented to the industrial applications. Okay, so that applications could be useful for the society related problems. Okay, means we are going to find out the solutions. For example, applied research is the perfect example for the applied research is that COVID vaccines. Okay, this COVID vaccine, it is applied research and it is useful for like everybody, in during that time everybody was vaccinated. So this is applied research. Applied research is a useful for the society or human being. Okay, then discovery. What is meant by the discovery research? Anyone tell me what is meant by the discovery? Discovery research means new finding in the research. We are going to find very novel things, new things. Okay, so for that you might have heard that a lot of people get the Nobel laureate. Lot of scientists will get the Nobel Prize or Nobel Award. Okay, and what about the production research? Means we are taking any kind of method and we are like doing a particular kind of productions of that method, so which can be useful also for the industrial purpose. Okay, so there are several kinds of research activities are there, several types of the research. Okay, so I just included here 4. There are more than 15 types of the research. Okay, so basically criteria for the good research. Okay, so now let me tell you about that, what is meant by the good research as well as bad research. Okay, so how do you consider the good research? So definitely we are when we are performing any kind of experiment in your lab or laboratory, so definitely as I have mentioned that your research should be very systematic. We have to go step by step. In coming slides I'm going to tell you how we can do the particular kind of research. So basically your research plan should be very structured, and we are going to follow the particular kinds of steps and particular kinds of sequence. Yes, hello, hello, am I audible? Is there any problem? Hello, everything is okay? Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. Thank you so much. I got this chat. Okay, so the good research is a particular research is a very systematic research, and in that research we are going to follow the particular kind of stage, design and development of the research, then hypothesis, carrying the experiment, and then we are turning to the conclusion part. Okay, and definitely when we are planning any kind of research, it is a logical. There is some logic behind of that particular kind of research. Okay, so these are the 2 points are really important. Then third point is there. Good research is empirical. What is meant by the empirical research? So basically, when we are performing the research activities related to the basics, okay, or or related to the more aspects point of view, considering the real situations, okay. So in this case, we need a really concrete data that provides the particular kinds of basis for the external validity. So in the third point, your research should be the empirical. Then last and important point is there, whatever the research we are doing for our research project, your research should be the replicable, reproducible. Okay. So once you publish your research activities in the particular kind of journals or maybe in the patent form, so but make sure that your research activity should be reproducible, replicable by others. Okay, So these characteristics allows research results to be verified by replicating the study and thereby building a sound basis for the decisions. Okay. So this is one of the important steps for this research activity. Okay. Then are you able to see the slide number 8? I hope so. So basically, what are the different steps are involved in the research activities? If you see, there are the total 7 research steps. Okay. So what I have explained to you before that, what is meant by the research, how we are going to perform the research activities. There are the several definitions of the research activities. So the main and important step is that we have to define our research problem. Research problem, in the other way, we can also call it is a research objectives. Okay. So once you know your research problem or research objectives or maybe the project, then based on that, we are going to study the review of literature. Okay. So you will start to study the literature, whether the project is already reported or not, whether the concept has been studied before or not. Okay. So you will see the various kinds of websites, for example, Web of Science, Scopus, or various kinds of publications, House American Chemical Society, Royal Chemical Society, elsewhere, Wiley publications. So many things are there. Okay. So in the second step, we have to review the particular kind of literature, and you have to make sure that that concept is not reported so far. Okay. So we will review the concepts and theories, and also we can also review the previous research findings, what exactly is reported to the related project. Then third point, that is a formulate hypothesis. What is the formulate hypothesis? We have to make sure that like how we are going to perform our research activities, what need to be done, who is going to do it, where it can be done, how it can be done, why there is need to do. Okay. So these are the points we should ask ourselves along with your supervisor, and you have to make sure that you have the right way to formulate the hypothesis of your research activities. Then fourth point, we have to design the research, including the sample design. Means how we are going to perform the research activities by step by step. Step 1, preparation. Step 2, characterization. Step 3, application. Step 4, conclusion. Step 5, future scope. So these are the points we should consider in the research activities. Then once you design your research activities, definitely you are going to perform your experiment, right? Okay. Once you start the experiment based on your design, okay, then you are going to collect the data, whether it is the instrumental data or whether it is a practical data or whether it is a characterization data. So it's depend on the field where you are working. So you are going to collect the data. Once you are collecting the data, you have to make sure that you are collecting the right data or not. Okay. Then you have to analyze the data along with your supervisor or expert in the field, and you have to test the hypothesis whether you are going in the right direction or not. And then finally, you have to interpret the data and report it. Okay. So in the last step, we have to interpret and report. When you are going to interpret the particular kind of data, you have to make sure that you are going to correlate the different kind of characterization data, and it should be published in the form of the paper or maybe in the form of patent. So these are the two things we can do in for experimental research activities. Okay. So these are the 7 steps are involved there. Then so far we learn about the research, what is meant by the research, why there is a need of research, how the research can be performed. Now the second word we would like to focus on the ethics. What is meant by the ethics? Can anyone tell me what is meant by the ethics? Sometimes we say in our daily life, oh, this is an ethical person. Okay, what does it mean? What is meant by the ethics? What do you know about the ethics? Yes, anyone? Do you know about the ethics or no? Okay, let me start with the ethics actually. So we can say some honest person will be there. Okay, not wrong behavior. Ethical means always having ethical person means it may be the wrong or maybe the correct behavior, right? Unethical means, see, the ethical, like we consider it is a honest person, right? Ethical person. Okay, we will have the particular kind of the principle towards the some specific things. Okay, so someone will say, oh, this person is very ethical, this person is a very honest. Okay, he did not like the wrong things. Okay, so this is known as the ethics. Okay, so moral principle that govern the person behavior, so it's written by the Khushbu. Okay, so it is the right way to say that. Okay, so let's understand that what is meant by the ethics here. So basically, the word ethics, definitely it comes from the Greek word. It is known as the ethos, which means the customs or habit, which means that the customs or habit, we have the two different type of habits, whether it is a good habit or maybe the bad habit. If someone having the bad habit and good habit, definitely these two habits is decided by the society. We'll say if someone is smoking, or we'll say it is a bad habit. If someone is not, oh, you are a good habit. So based on that, we have decided that whether the person having the ethical person or unethical person, same thing, same term will be applied in the research activities. Same term will be applied in the research activities. So basically, ethics is also often called as a moral philosophy. Okay, it is also called as a moral philosophy, and the word moral is also comes from the Latin. It is known as a mores, which means the customs or habits. Okay, so if you see, there are various kinds of definitions there. I'm not going to explain all the definition is there, but definitely you have to I think you understand that ethical person will have the good habits, unethical person will have the bad habits, or maybe they don't have they do not follow the particular kinds of good research practices in ethical person. Okay, so ethics is also the science of the highest good. Okay, it is the science of the morality and the code of moral standard of the conduct. What is good, what is right, what is bad, and what is wrong. So these are the things we should consider in the ethics. Okay, so basically we know the meaning of ethics now. So what is together research ethics? Why there is a need to learn the about the research ethics? Okay, or why everyone should learn about the ethics? Okay, so ethics allows you to live meaningful life that requires you to have a sense of integrity, that is making commitments and sticking by them through thick and thin. You understand the meaning of this definition? To live the meaningful life that requires you to have the sense of integrity. Oh, someone has said that, like suppose I will not smoke, or I will not have the particular kind of bad habit, means it is the sense of integrity of that particular kind of person. The person will making a particular kinds of commitment and sticking them through thick and thin. Even someone wanted to reduce the weight, and the person should have the particular kind of good habit for the eating. Okay, so he will follow the particular kind of diet. Okay, means he is following the ethics. Okay, or having the firm character. Okay, or set of principles to guide your life and choices you make. Okay, we will say about our teacher, oh, he is a very strict person, he follow the rules and regulations. Person, if someone is not following, definitely he or she is an unethical person. So ethical people are honest, okay, trustworthy, loyal, and caring. This is needed to develop the interpersonal relationship in the home, community, school, and the workplace. Okay, so ethics provides for stable society. People tend to calmer, more focused, and more productive. Okay, anyone would like to give the example for this? Can anyone tell me the example, real life example? Just unmute yourself and tell me. What is ethical person? Anyone? Can anyone would like to give the example for this? I have already given some examples. Maybe someone from student. In chatting, can you just text in the chat box and tell me? Just one example. Tell me one example. Yes, Trupti Pandey, Simran Thul. Any example would like to give? Okay, maybe I cannot wait more time. Okay, let's go ahead. Yeah. So basically, why should we learn about the ethics? Okay. So we already understand that everywhere we need a leaders with the integrity, not a boss. As a ICT graduate, so definitely this was prepared for ICT students. So I mentioned here, or maybe your college graduate students, you can be the leaders for the future, right? So it is a good and happy thing to be an ethical person. Okay. So we always follow the leaders in the life. Someone is leading you in your college also, for example, your principal or your teacher. So we see them as a leader. They are guiding you in the right path to make your life very successful, to make your career very successful because of their ethics, because of their ethics. Okay, and we are creating a leader, not a boss in the future. So it is a good to be peace with yourself. If you follow your principle regularly, so you will be in peace. If you do something wrong, it will trouble you a lot. You are not able to sleep properly. So it will create a problem for you. So the skill of ethical argument are vital if you want to persuade people to listen. Okay, you need to be like good person yourself. If you want, you followed by some people or not. Okay, so take the notice and value what is your opinion on this issue that is important to you. Okay, so definitely leaders always follow the particular kinds of ethics. So what are the significance of ethics? Why this ethics is really important? Ethics corresponds to the basic human needs. What are the basic human needs for the ethics? Definitely self-development in the work, family, children, buy an apartment, travel, making a career, earn money, monitoring health, hobbies, buy a car. So many things are there. And in these things, your ethics are really important. The first obvious reasons for being ethical is, of course, that top bosses might be otherwise land in jail and company to be hit with the heavy fine. You might have seen that in most of the industry, they are locked by the government and because of their unethical activities, and some of the related people went to the jail. Okay, so definitely when you are following the particular kind of ethics, rules and regulations, so nobody will harm you, nobody will punish you. If it is vice versa, so definitely they will catch you and they will punish you. So however, this is not really an ethical considerations. It is rather a matter of expediency and the suitability. Okay, let me go to ahead now. So what are the values create by the ethics? So definitely these values create the credibility with the public. So what are the values can be created in the public? So definitely companies pursued by the public to the ethically and socially concerned will be the honored and respected even by those who have no intimate knowledge of its actual working. Okay, so these are some examples are here. In another way, I will say it is a public issue, whether in the form of equity, convertible bonds, or fixed deposit will attract an immediate response. Okay, So if you see, most of the banks are like having the particular kind of offer, okay? They are giving like more interest on the particular kinds of deposits and these things, okay? But most of the banks are also having the hidden rules, okay? So someone will deduct the money automatically, okay? And by mistake you have signed the documents. So it is also unethical. So the policy is not open for the customers, okay? So it is their loss. So this is also some of the examples are there, okay? So for example, so we believe that most of the people want, even need to be ethical, not only their private lives, but also their businesses affairs where manager knows his decision may affect the lives of thousands of people. Okay. So we know that in India, there are various kinds of companies are there. Okay. And every company is having a different kind of policies. Even every college or institute having a different kind of policies. Okay. For example, Tata Company. Tata Company is very well renowned company in the world, and they care a lot for their employee. Okay. As compared to the other company, the people, okay, or the employee prefer to stay in the Tata Company because they care for their employee. They are really ethical to their employee. They are really leaders in their domain or in the company rather than boss or these things. Okay, so these are the some points are there. Okay, so far we learn about the, you understand the meaning of research. We also understand the meaning of ethics. Now we wanted to know that we have to make these two words together, research ethics. What is the research ethics? Now we are going to focus on the research activities and how the ethics are really important in the research. So for example, these research ethics involve the applications of fundamental ethical principles to the research activities, which include design and implementations of research, respects toward the society and others, the use of resources and research outputs, scientific misconduct, and the regulations of the research. Okay. So basically, in simple way, let me tell you what is meant by the research ethics. Whatever the research activities you are going to do in your project, okay, you have to make sure that you should be honest with your project activities. Okay, you should not do any kind of falsifications. You cannot use the wrong data. You cannot use the scientific misconduct. Okay, so whatever the research you will carry in your project work, you should do it very honestly without any falsifications or putting the wrong data or anything. You have to make sure that your results should not harmful to the society. Okay, so this is the research ethics. Then what are the objectives of the research ethics? So definitely the first objectives of the research ethics is to protect the human participant. So where the human participant will be participated? Definitely in the clinical trials. You might you might know that when the Covishield and Covaxin vaccine launch in India, so before like starting the vaccine, or taking the vaccinations drive, okay, so there should be like some trial should be done, okay, so some participant will be selected and to try whether it has adverse effects or good effect or bad effect on the human being. So clinical trials are really important. So the main and basic objectives for the research ethics is that to protect the human participant. Okay, so you have to make sure that whatever the human participants will be used or will be participate in the trial, okay, you have to make sure that the adverse effects should not harm them. The second and most important objective is to ensure the research is conducted in a way that serves the interest of individuals, groups, or society as a whole. Okay. Then finally, the third objective is that to examine the specific research activities and project for their ethical soundness, looking at issues such as management of risk, protection of confidentiality, and the process of uninformed consent. So there are the several objectives for the research ethics. I hope you understand that. Then the next one is that codes and policies for the research ethics. What are the codes and policies? What is meant by the code? Do you know about the codes? Means it is the kinds of rules and regulations. Okay, regulations or codes means specific codes are there. Penal code, we will say 302. This is a code. Okay, if someone having in the, when there is a specific crime is there, for that crime there is a code. Okay, so it is a code of conduct. So in research, if someone is doing the wrong thing, or if they are doing the falsification of data, tampering of data by including the wrong data, so there are the rules and regulations of the particular kind of committee. So that's what this point we are studying here. Codes and policies for the research ethics. What exactly is included here? Given the importance of research ethics for the conduct of research, it should come as a no surprise that many professional associations, government agencies, and the universities have adopted scientific specific codes, rules, and policies related to the research ethics. Okay, so research ethics, these policies, rules, and regulations are really important. Okay, before 15 years or maybe the 20 years, these research ethics policy, rules, or regulations are not existed, because that time there was a no online media, or maybe the online journals are not included. Now, if you are writing the project, if your supervisor is asking you to write the project, you cannot simply copy from the Google. You make sure that it is also one of the crime, or it is against the research ethics. You cannot simply copy and paste the data, whatever you are using from the Google or internet or from any research source or magazine or patent, and you cannot simply use for your project work. You can read it, understand it, and then write in your own language. Then you have to try to improve your English, and then you have to make sure that whatever the data is corrected here, it should not be as it is. So these policies, if someone is doing any like unethical things or falsification of data, so every universities or institutes, they having the ethics committee, okay, or they have the particular kinds of statutes which should be included there, included in the that in their statutes. Okay, if someone is doing the wrong thing, so the particular kinds of punishment will be given that person. Okay, then if someone is doing the particular kind of research fabrications, okay, that could be monitored by the particular kind of committee. Okay, so these are the codes of ethics which are really important here. So in worldwide, there are the various kinds of committees are there. Okay, specifically, if you see, there are various kinds of committees are there. American Chemical Society, Chemist Code of Conduct, then American Society for Clinical Laboratory Science, the Ethical Principle of Psychologist, American Psychological Association, American Anthropological Associations, American Association of University, and in India, also UGC also have the particular kinds of research ethics committee. Okay, if someone is doing the wrong thing, they have the particular kind of punishment. Okay, so these are the internal committee. So what are the some ethical principle addressed by the various courts? So as we know that we are going to start our research activities, or whenever we will do the research, so we have to be ethical person, ethical scientist, ethical chemist, ethical physicist, ethical human being. So what is the important for that? Your honesty. Your honesty is important. Strive for the honesty in all scientific communications. So whatever the research work you are doing, you have to make sure that the obtained data should be very genuine. You cannot falsify or tempering the data. Okay. So your scientific data should be very genuine. Okay. Then honestly report the data, your obtained results, methods and procedures, and your publication status. Do not fabricate. Do not change your data. Do not change the numbering. Do not falsify. Do not put the wrong numbers or misinterpret the data. Okay. The data should be genuine. Whatever you got, you should mention it. Okay. Do not deceive your colleagues, granting agency or the public. Okay. So maybe a lot of people will get the grant from government of India. You have to utilize that grant very properly. You have to make sure that for what purpose you get the grant, and it should be used accordingly. The grant should not use for the other purpose. Okay. So some people can misuse the grant, so it should not be happen. The number two, objectivity. What is the objectivity? Avoid and minimize the bias or self-deception. Disclose personal or financial interest that may affect the research. Okay. So this is really important. You have to make sure that what is the objectivity for your project work or research work. So you have to follow in this way. Okay. So strive to avoid the bias in the experimental design, data analysis, data interpretations, peer review, personal decisions, grant writing, expert testimony, and other aspects of the research where objective is expected and required. What is meant by the avoid biasness? Means if you're in your research group, there are the 3 or 4 people are working, and 3 people having the same opinion to perform the research in one direction, and one person is saying that no, we cannot follow these directions because it is a very expensive and it is going to take time and we need to get the result within 1 month. So this is again, you are not meeting your objectives. You are like doing some unethical things. Okay. So this objective is really important. Then carefulness, you have to be very careful. You should avoid the errors and the mistakes in your research activities. Okay. And you have to make sure that whatever the research report you have written here, you have to cross check with your supervisor. Okay. Checking and rechecking content and even in the Gallup group. So you have to be very careful about during your research activities till you publish your research work or till you file the patents. Keep good records of research activities such as data collections. Okay. So whatever the experiment we are doing for your research project work, you have to write it in daily. Write your research work in the daily. And you have to make sure that this record should be stored at least for 5 years. Any publication house or maybe any scientist or chemist can ask you how you get the data, and maybe you are not able to remember what exactly you have done in the last 3 years or 4 years or 5 years before. So keeping these good records, it is really important for you. Okay. So you have to be very careful about it. Then integrity. Keep your promises and agreements. Act with sincerity. Strive for the consistency of your thought and action. This is really important. Okay. Then openness. You have to share the data, results, ideas, tools, resource. Be open to criticism and new ideas. This is really important here. Then respect the intellectual property. What is meant by the intellectual property? What is meant by the intellectual properties? Anyone? Intellectual means your creative idea. Okay. It is a novel idea or creative idea. Okay. And property means property. Means particular things you have like gain about the copyrights or these things. It is known as the intellectual properties. Okay. So definitely I'm not going in detail in this one because this is a very different topic, but definitely I'll be happy to answer the question at the end. So respect the intellectual property means we have to respect or honor the patents or particular kind of copyrights or other forms of the intellectual properties. For examples, do not use the unpublished data, methods, or results without permission. Give the credit where the credit is due. So that's why I'm telling you. So suppose, for example, if you would like to take the figure from Google and you are using it for your official project, which are going to publish, okay, you have to make sure that you need a copyright of that figure. You cannot simply use that the figure without the copyright permission. This is called as intellectual property. We have to protect the intellectual property. For example, conference presentations or copyright lines. Give the proper acknowledgement or credit for all contributions to the research. Never plagiarize. Never plagiarize. I will tell you the detail of the plagiarize in next coming slides. Okay. So basically, these are the intellectual property. Intellectual property includes the design. If someone has a particular kind of logo, okay, so you cannot use that logo without the permission. Patents, definitely we need a particular kind of permissions, or we need to buy that patent if you want to use their technology or maybe the production thing. Then invention, you cannot also use the inventions, okay, without their knowledge. Then trademarks, particular kind of trademarks are there, then copyrights are there. Okay. So these are the points. Then 7 is confidentiality. If you are working with the project, with the industry project, you cannot tell the details to the any that you should not disclose the details of your project. In this way, you will be like an unethical person. So you have to protect the confidential communications such as papers or grants submitted for the publications, personal records, trade or military secrets, and the patient records. Okay. So these are the really important things we have to consider in the ethical principle. Then responsible publications, published in order to advance the research and scholarship, not to advance just your own career. Okay. So you cannot just publish, you need a promotion, so you need a paper or something like that. This is not good. Okay. So you have to make sure that the whatever the publication you are like going to publish, it should be useful for the society. If it is useful for the society, definitely it is useful for you as well. So, and avoid the wasteful and duplicative publications. You cannot simply do one application in one paper, another application in one paper, characterization in one research work. So avoid such kinds of duplicative research. Then responsible mentoring. So as a supervisor or as a senior student or senior person, okay, you have to help and educate, okay, mentor and advise the students, promote their welfare and allow them to make their own decisions. When you are mentoring someone for your project, you have to make sure that you have particular kind of training, motivation should be there, what your date, okay, give the specific direction to them, coach them, support them, and then you can achieve goal and you then again responsibility is there, non-discriminations, do not talk about the colleagues or their like race or ethnicity or maybe the other factors. Okay, try to see how you can achieve your goal, not to do the negative gossips. Okay, so these are the points. And then 13 competence, skillful, maintain and improve your own professional competence, expertise through the lifelong educations and learning, take the steps to promote the competence in science as a whole. For example, research is a learning process. I have 18-year experience and still learning. Every day is a learning day. Okay. Legality, know and obey the relevant laws and institutional and governmental policies. Animal care, like what I mentioned, whenever we do the clinical trials, we have to use the various animals, including the dogs, mice, rabbit, even human being. So we have to make sure that we should not disrespect, and you have to take care of the particular kind of animal when you are using them in the research. Do not conduct unnecessary or poorly designed animal experiment. Okay, you have to make sure that you are going on the right directions, so it should not harmful to the animal and human being. Okay, then what are the ethical norms? Most people learn it at home, school, and social settings. Okay, So definitely our mom and dad and our parents already teach us, okay, oh, this is bad, this is good. And by whenever like in the kids form, we already started learning the ethical things. Okay. Moral development occurs throughout the life. Ethical norms are so ubiquitous that one might be tempted to regard them as a simple common sense. Okay. So these are the points we should consider here. On the other hand, if morality were nothing more than common sense, then why are there so many ethical disputes and issues in our society? Okay. So there are so many things we should consider here. Then what is the ethical dilemma? What is the ethical dilemma sometimes? When two or more obligations require mutually exclusive actions. Okay, so when some evidence suggests that an act is a right, but other evidence suggests that it is wrong. Okay, you know that what happens in the court most of the times. Okay, if the both person are saying I am right, but it is not the case. Okay, so this is called as the ethical dilemma. Okay, for example, company decision or buying an instrument or hire a particular kinds of teacher for our college or recruiting the PhD students for your project or maybe recruiting project associate for your project. So if there is a two people are very strong and the committee is liking them, okay, so we cannot take two, but we have to take one. So in this case, it is an ethical dilemma, and we have to solve this ethical dilemma very carefully. Okay, we should not go with the like personal judgment, but we have to see what is the fact there and why we should hire that particular kind of person or what decision we can take if it is a company decision. So these are the ethical dilemma is there. Then I'm coming back to this academic honesty. So definitely we know that honesty is a part of ethical persons. So what is meant by the academic honesty means we have to be honest during your academic career or research career or whatever we do. Okay. So the rationale of this policy is to encourage our students to work with integrity and produce original ideas in their work. The presentations of authentic work is essential for the good character, scholarship, and practice. Okay. So you have to monitor our student to do the better job, ethical job, logical job, original ideas, maintain their integrity. Okay. So in this way, their character is evolved as a good character. We act with the integrity and honesty with the strong sense of fairness and justice with the respect for the dignity and the right of the people everywhere. We take the responsibility for our actions and their consequences. So this is known as academic honesty. What is the purpose of academic honesty? I just given the example about this one. Academic honesty is really important. If the institute or college is hiring the particular kind of teacher or professor or lecturer, so the committee should make sure that they are hiring the proper teacher in their college or either in their institute. Okay. For another example, I have given here PhD student admission procedure. It should be very loyal and it should be the honest. Okay. So these are the some points are there. What is considered in the academic dishonesty? So definitely, if you are not following the ethical decision and we are going to take the some wrong decision, okay, which is against the ethical norms, which is known as academic dishonesty. So this list is not ended. Unended list will be there. Okay. Then we are coming back to this plagiarism. What is meant by the plagiarism? Can anyone tell me? What is the plagiarism? What is plagiarism? Okay, I have already given you example. What is meant by the plagiarism? If you are copying something from the internet, from the Google, and if you are using it for your project work without changing the text as it is, Okay, or if you are copying the figure, taking from the Google as it is known as a plagiarism. Means in the simple way, I would say copy paste job. It is a copy paste. That's what it is mentioned here. Any adult or student in school copies and uses any ready-made text easily available on the net or the other sources. Okay, you know what I mean. If someone is asking you a project, you will copy paste, you will the formatting and you will use it. But this is not right. It will be in trouble. You will be in trouble. The internet should ideally be used to enhance research work and collection of data, but no use should be the language or ideas or expressions. It can be copied from the internet, as this may also lead the violations of the intellectual property rights and the patent rights. Okay, so basically whatever the content which is available on the Google, whatever the figures which is available the Google available on the Google or particular kind of websites, it is a copyright protected. They are protected. You cannot simply copy and paste them. So in this way, you are violating their intellectual property rights. You are violating their creativity. You are violating their work. Okay, and you will be like you will get punished if it is observed. Okay, so this is known as a plagiarism. Okay, so this is a simple definitions of the plagiarism. The person does not represent the ideas or works of others as his or her own. Okay, it is not limited only the copy and paste job, but it is also if you are stealing some ideas from someone and claiming that it is your own idea, this is also as a plagiarism. This is also considered as a plagiarism. Okay, then next one is a paraphrasing. What is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing is a writing a piece of text out in your own words. Means whatever the content you have copied from the Google or something, you have understand it and you have to write it in your own words. This is known as a paraphrasing. Means in this way, it is not considered as a copied and paste. You are not violating the intellectual property rights. You will maintain your dignity and you will be considered as an honest person. The candidate must record the addresses of all websites from which they have obtained the information during their research, including the date and each website was visited. This record is maintained as a separate logbook. Simply stating the research engine is not acceptable. Okay. Sometimes if you are publishing something in your research work, so that publication house can ask where you get this data, how you get the data, whether this data is a copyright protected or not. Okay. So these are the simple things which we have considered in the paraphrasing. So there are various kinds of paraphrasing tools or softwares are available. For example, Quillboard, Grammarly, okay, or sometimes like sometimes there are other paraphrasing tools are also there, which is available. Duplication of work. A person copies ideas or language from others while attempting class activities, assignments, or projects. It is a duplication. So we should avoid it. The person uses the same matter for two different assignments or projects as it amounts. Okay, we have to avoid this. Duplication of work should be avoided. Okay, do not follow or copy the one person work for your benefits. Okay, then collusion. What is meant by the collusion? Collusion means the secret agreement to harm other people. Okay, while discussing the issues in open forums, group discussions, brainstorming sessions, group activities, debates can enhance collaborative learning. Students need to ensure that their work are different from each other in the introductions, analysis, and conclusions. Okay, so we have to be very careful about this. Then, what is the collisions again? Copying someone else's work is a collision. The meaning of collision is if you are copying someone work, it is known as a collisions. Okay. Even if you have collaborated with another student, the work you present must be your own. Collusion is considered as a malpractice and will be penalized. Okay. We have to be very careful. You cannot simply steal other work or simply copy and paste and consider it is your own work. Okay, if you do so, it will be considered as a malpractice and you will be penalized. Exam cheating, definitely we should not do the exam cheating. You know that what does it mean? Falsification data, I already mentioned that when you are doing any kind of project activities, okay, so whatever the data you are going to obtain in your research activities, so you cannot create or alter the data, okay, your own benefits, okay, which will be not accepted by the publication house, okay. So avoid this falsification data. Effects of the academic misconduct. What will happen? What is meant by the academic misconduct or bad habits? Okay, once you have the bad habits, you are not going to quit that. Okay, you will be habitual. Okay, you will be habitual. If someone is stealing something, you will start doing so. You will not do the hard work. You will not be honest. Okay, so your effects of that academic misconduct will be you will be become habitual about the doing the wrong things, mess up the things in the workplace. The quality of graduates goes down, leads to low knowledge productions, bad reputation to the institutes. Okay, when we are going to select the institute, what you will see? You will see what are the rules and regulations for the institutes, who is the teaching staff, who is the principal, who is the director, what are the facilities, infrastructure. So we will see everything. Okay. So how this can be maintained by their reputation, their hard work, teachers' hard work, principal hard work, their discipline. Okay. So these are the academic misconducts are there. Okay. Then prevention of the academic dishonesty. How we are going to, if someone is doing wrong thing or they are not honest to their academic jobs, punishment of the act, they should be punished. Failure or reducing the grades of the students. Okay, some students are doing copy and paste or they are cheating in the exam, we have to fail them or reduce the mark. Okay, make a special case. Okay, if this thing is happen in the future, you will be punished. So their incoming students will not do such act. Dismissal or expulsion, we can just fire the students from their college or cancel their admissions. Suspensions or terminations of the contract to the lectures involved. Okay, so these are the things we should consider there. So professional conduct, plagiarism, definitely. What is the plagiarism? You already understand that copy and paste job is there. Okay, there are possibilities in the research work. We have to take the paraphrase. Okay, if some scientist made some sentence, we have to take the sentence as it is. We cannot change the science sentence or definitions. So in this case, reference citation is really important. We have to cite that particular reference in the particular kind of topic. So in this way, it will not consider as a plagiarism. It will not consider as a plagiarism. Fair authorship, if you are doing the project work along with your colleague or maybe your friends, collaborations or supervisors, you have to make sure that who contributed in that project, what is the percentage of contributions, okay, and accordingly you have to decide the authorship. Who will be the first author, who will be the second author, who will be the corresponding author. Okay, so you have to maintain the equality of the work there. Okay, then peer review. What is peer review? So basically the meaning of the peer review is that whenever you finish your manuscript writing and if you want to publish in the specific journals, so it should go to the peer review. Means there will be the two anonymous reviewers who are going to comment or read your manuscript and they will recommend or reject for the acceptance. Okay, so this is known as a peer review. Okay, so what exactly we have to mention in the peer review? We have to get the particular kinds of evaluations there, objective evaluations. Okay, so this is known as a peer review. Then what are the real life examples of the data manipulations and false results? You know that if you have the particular kinds of data manipulations or false results, you might have heard that 2 years before, the Patanjali, okay, they have claimed that their medicine is like Ayurveda medicines, okay, claim that they can cure this coronavirus. Okay. So police have registered the first information report against the Yoga Guru Ramdev and 4 others for allegedly conspiring to sell fake Ayurveda medicine with misleading claim to cure the COVID-19 following the clinical trials on some patients. They have not done any clinical trials with the permission of Indian government, and they claim that their medicine is going will cure this coronavirus. Okay, so this is one of the examples is there. Another example is that according to this Al Jazeera news channel, okay, so there is also very false news that over 700 people died after drinking alcohol. They made a news that if you are drinking the that alcohol, that is a toxic methanol, it can cure the coronavirus. So this is a very one of the biggest news in the Iran. Lot of people have died because of this misleading information. Okay, so these are the real type of example is there. Again, I would like to tell you here, most of the eminent institute in India, including IITs and even CSR institutes. Okay, 65 papers from India have been retracted. Retracted means they have removed by the publication house because of they have used the false image and they have fabricated the data. Okay, if you Google it, you will find out the information. So these images, whatever the images you have seen here, they are not the correct images. They are false images. They have used the one published image in the another published papers. It is a crime. They cannot do that. So their data is retracted. So it is a really often it is a really like shameful act for the institute. Okay, and whenever someone is submitting the publications from that institutes, it will be considered as a really challenge for them. Okay, yeah. Then this is also one of the example is here. This is from Malaysia. These guys are also use the same figures. Okay, in the two journals. If you see in the left side and right side, the same data will be there, and they just change the some format of the figures. Okay, so this is also the papers have been retracted from there. Okay, so what are the plagiarism policies and penalties and consequences? Okay, so if someone is doing the plagiarism, if someone is doing the falsification of the data, research misconduct, academic dishonesty, okay, so they will have to face the consequences. What are the consequences they are going to face? Zero tolerance policy in the core areas, UGC regulations for the plagiarism. Okay, zero tolerance policy. They are not going to release that particular kind of person if they are doing any kind of misconduct. The core work carried out by the student, faculty, or staff and the researchers shall be based on the original ideas and shall be covered by the zero tolerance policy or plagiarism. In case of plagiarism established in the core work claimed by PDA, that is the Plagiarism Disciplinary Authority, or the higher educational authority institution, that is HEI, shall impose the maximum penalty. Okay, there should be the penalty if someone is doing the plagiarism. The core work shall include the abstract, summary, hypothesis, observations. Okay, of plagiarism or non-core areas. Okay, now we have several softwares are there which is already available. Okay, for example, Authenticated software is there. Okay, so where we can see the similarity index or plagiarism. Okay, if your similarity up to 10% or maybe in the new journal it is a 20%, it should be excluded. Level 1, if there is a similarity between 10% to 40%. Level 2, similarity above 40 to 60. Then third one is the similarity above 60. Okay, so what will be the penalty? If you have the similarities, like 10 to 40%. Okay, so in this case, the student shall not be given any mark or credit for the plagiarized script, or shall ask to resubmit the revised script within the stipulated time period, not exceeding the 6 months. Okay, so this is the penalties. If level 2, the similarity index should be the 40 to 60. So in this case, revise shall not given any mark. Okay, will not get the mark or credit. And in this case also, student can ask to the revise the script or manuscript or report after the period of time, but not exceeding the 18 months. Okay, so this time will be given here. Okay, and level 3, if there is similarity is above 60%, okay, his registrations or admissions should be cancelled. Okay, so these are the some penalties we have to consider here. Then penalty for the repeated plagiarism. Okay, so in this case also, we have to cancel their admissions, and these things are there. Penalty in case where degree or credit has already been obtained. Okay, if plagiarism is proved on a date later than date of award of degree or credit, as in case his or her degree or credit shall be put in abeyance for a period recommended by the institutional academic integrity and approved by the Vice Chancellor. Even if you get your degree, UG, PG or PhD, and if you found guilty or in regarding your research activities or academic honesty, so your degree will be keep on hold by the Vice Chancellor or particular kind of committee. Okay, then consequences of plagiarism. What is meant by the consequences of the plagiarism? Results in work being destroyed. Okay, then results in expulsion from the academic institution, results in legal actions, considered as a lack of academic integrity, academic dishonesty, academic fraud, okay, intellectual theft and cheating. Okay, and definitely because of this plagiarism, your image will be damaged. Okay, people will not look as like you will not have the same kind of reputations as before. Okay, along with your supervisor, reputations will be also damaged along with the institutes also. Okay, so you have to be very careful about it, not to do such kind of the plagiarism and all these things. Okay, then so this is about the consequences of the plagiarism, and you have to make sure that you have to prevent this plagiarism. Try inculcate good habits. You have to be honest with your work, even if you get the negative results, don't mind. Okay, keep working hard and try to achieve the sustainable goals. Okay, by keeping your honesty for the particular kind of projects. Okay, so you have to be very careful about this. So with this, I would like to finish my talk regarding the research ethics. So, okay, so far we learn about the research, what is meant by the ethics, what is meant by the academic honesty, what is together research ethics, what are the consequences for the research ethics, what is the plagiarism. Okay, so far we learned here. Okay, then just wanted to brief you about my research activities, what exactly I am doing here in ICT Marathwada campus. Basically, I am working on the single atom materials now, including heterogeneous catalysis, nanomaterials, core shell catalysis, and I am studying the various kinds of synthesis, various kinds of properties, applications, and their applications in variety of fields, including organic applications, green synthesis, atomic level modulations, industrial catalysis, okay, and several kinds of environmental remediations are also. These are our key publications in the single atom catalysis field in the last 2-3 years. These are some featured covered in the different kind of field, and these are the research work related to the single atom catalyst. These are my groups since last 10 years from Czech Republic. This is also from Czech Republic. This is from Marathwada campus. And basically, I have edited the special issue, like what Tekale sir has mentioned here, end of carbon material synthesis and applications. Okay. Then I have also edited the special issue with Professor Ariga and Yamauchi on single atom catalyst. Recently, we have published this book in surface modified nanomaterials for applications in catalysis. Then this is my team members. I would like to acknowledge all my team members and collaborators from national as well as international. So without their support, it was not possible for me to complete my work. Okay, and let me announce you that coming January we are organizing the second international conference on nanomaterials and sustainable applications, which will be held at Aurangabad in Azanda Ambassador Hotel. Okay, so I would like to invite you to participate in this conference. Okay, so there will be like 22 speakers. Some speaker will be from Germany, from Japan, and from India as well. Okay, so do participate in this conference. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Okay, I'll be happy to answer if anyone have a questions, comments. You can also keep in the chat box if any questions. See, it is a very broad topic. I tried my best to explain within this short time frame. I hope you understand like I try you. Yes. Okay, okay.
Sad. The paper is published and you got the plagiarism report from that publisher, okay, and that journal. So after that, getting that report with with you, and somebody is again he actually rechecking that plagiarism, and he supposed getting some plagiarism in that paper. So is it and if suppose he
No, it
suppose
will not happen. No,
he
see this.
he just object over there, and then that previous report is suppose the person is actually presenting him. So where the correction will be exactly happen. So
No,
who is the
no,
correct there?
it won't happen actually. So usually there are, I think, 7 to 8 plagiarism software are there. These all softwares are already approved by the particular kind of suppose thir- 13 something
13.
is there, and then authentic is there. So if you do the check with this both software, so you will not find the difference. Maybe someone is showing 19%, someone is showing 18%. That's acceptable. Okay, up to 5% is acceptable. Okay, so you cannot just copying
Okay,
and
right.
like copy and pasting more than 50%. So this is something different. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir, for a wonderful talk. Definitely, this talk would be beneficial for the researcher. You have covered almost all the topics like research, ethics, together research ethics, ethical dilemma, plagiarism, and its consequences. And definitely, this will boost the young mind to take a necessary step while doing the research. So, with this, I would like to hand over the mic to Dr. Mobansi Madam to propose a vote of thanks. Over to you, Mobansi Madam.
Thank you, Borkar sir. Good morning to all of you. First of all, I request all the participants to please switch on their cameras for the screenshot. A very good morning to one and all, respected dignitaries. On the behalf of Bajaj College of Science, Wardha, I, Dr. Mrs. Neeta Mobansi, feel honored and privileged to propose the vote of thanks. First of all, I convey my deep regards and sincere thanks to today's resource person, Dr. Manoj Gawande sir, Associate Professor, Department of Industrial and Engineering Chemistry, ICT, Mumbai, Marathwada Campus, Jalna, for your wonderful and very informative talk on the topic IPR and IP management and research ethics. Sir, I assure you that the audience and especially the PG students, which are assumed to be the budding researchers, will definitely benefited by your expertise. Thank you, sir. I'm thankful to our principal, Dr. Om Mohdai, sir, for his encouragement for organizing such workshops. Thank you, sir. I'm also grateful to the president of IIC, Dr. S.H. Bagade, sir, head Department of Physics, for his valuable suggestions in organizing this workshop. I'm also thankful to Dr. P.V. Tekade, Vice President of IIC and Head Department of Chemistry, for providing stimulating environment for such an educational development. Thank you, sir. I take this opportunity to extend my sincere thanks to all the dignitaries, faculties of different colleges, and dear students from the different colleges for attending this workshop. Last but not the least, I am thankful to all teaching and non-teaching staff who directly or indirectly help us to make this program successful. Thank you, sir. I hand over this to Dr. Prashant Burkar, sir.
Thank you very much, madam. All the participants kindly use the chat box to have a feedback link. Feedback link is provided in the chat box. Please take a minute to copy your feedback link so that you will get a participation certificate after successful submission of this feedback form.
Okay, bye everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So with this, I declare that this workshop is over. Participants can exit the meeting now. Thank you, sir.